everybody, this is Kenny at the Journal Paintball Museum, and today we have the 68 special maintenance video by Tippmann.
In the third part of this maintenance video, I'd like to explain to you how to disassemble and maintain and reassemble your 68 special. The first procedure to disassembling the 68 special is to remove the constant air tank. To remove the constant air tank, you must twist it 3/4 of a turn and fire the gun until all the gas pressure is released from the gun. The reason we remove all the gas pressure from the 68 special is so the O-ring on the constant air tank is not ruptured when removing the tank. After removing the tank, we will then remove the ammo box, and then we'll remove the barrel. To remove the barrel, simply loosen the barrel tightening screw and pull the barrel straight out. Next, we will remove the front receiver from the 68 special. In order to remove the front receiver, you must remove the linkage. To remove the linkage, remove the O-ring which holds it on. After removing the O-ring, simply slide off the linkage arm, and now we will loosen and remove the front receiver screws. After the front receiver screws are removed, you can take off the front receiver. To remove the bushing and the bolt of the front receiver, simply pull the front bolt back and pull the bushing and bolt out. After removing the front receiver, the easiest way to work on the rear part of the 68 special is to place it in a vise. To disassemble the rear half of the 68 special, you must first loosen the rear end cap set screw. The set screw is used to hold the cap tight, and if it's not loosened, it may ruin the threads on the end cap. After loosening the set screw, the end cap can be loosened with a 5/8 wrench. Simply remove the end cap and then remove the spring and spring rod. After removing the spring and spring rod, you can pull the bolt handle and bolt back to the remove hole. Pull the bolt handle straight out, and now you can remove the receiver tube and the bolt. To remove the valve of the special, simply pop up the gas line, pull off the valve retaining ring, and the valve will simply slide straight out. To remove the valve from the gas tube, simply remove and loosen the gas tube nut. I'm now going to show you how to replace the gas line of a 68 special. We prefer that an airsmith or ourselves would replace the gas line, but if need be that you have to replace it yourself, here's how it's done. In order to replace an old gas line, you must first remove the old gas line from the receiver. The only way it can be removed is to cut it. To remove the rest of the gas line, the silver screw in the back must be removed. If the silver screw is very tight beyond hand tightening, you must apply heat to the receiver to loosen the Loctite, which is applied to the silver screw, if need be. Then remove the silver screw which holds the gas line in. Simply push the gas line rearward out the back of the receiver. To install a new gas line, take the forward end and shove it through the rear of the receiver. Replace the silver screw to the back of the gas line. And tighten the silver screw hand tight with a flathead screwdriver. After installing the gas line to the rear of the receiver, you must place the gas line spring over the outside of the gas line. The reason we use this gas line spring is it doubles the amount of pressure the gas line can hold. After placing the gas line over the gas tubing, you must then put on the brass nut and then the brass ferrule. After putting on the brass ferrule, install the gas line to the valve. Tightening the brass nut. After the gas valve is installed, simply shove the gas valve in through the back of the receiver, and then replace the retaining ring. The retaining ring was put on the newer style 68 specials. If you have an older style 68 special, the valve is retained using a roll pin which holds back the valve elbow. I am now going to replace the receiver tube. Replacing the receiver tube at an angle with the slot tilted up slightly is holding the sear down so that we can install the bolt. To install the bolt, you must put the bolt in with it bent down. Shove the bolt in until the bolt handle hole in the bolt and the bolt handle hole in the receiver line up. And then we will install the bolt handle and linkage arm. Shoving the bolt forward and twisting the receiver tube back straight, the bolt handle, bolt, and receiver tube are now installed. Pull the bolt back to the first click, and it is now in place to put the bolt spring rod back into the receiver. Shove the bolt spring in the rear of the bolt and twist the bolt handle until the spring goes through the bolt handle. To replace the end cap, put the end cap on the back of the spring rod, shoving the whole mechanism forward. Twist the end cap until it is wrench tight. After the end cap is installed, tighten the end cap set screw. The rear receiver is now completely assembled. We are now going to reassemble the front receiver. To reassemble the front receiver, we must first replace the front bolt and replace the power tube and bushing or the velocity adjuster. To install the velocity adjuster, push it in the rear and make sure the velocity adjuster screw is in the slot. After you have completed that step, we are now going to assemble the front receiver to the rear receiver by installing the receiver bolts. Using the Allen wrench that came with your gun, simply tighten the receiver bolts. After the receiver bolts are tightened, we can now reconnect the linkage. Simply slide the linkage arm over the front bolt and replace the linkage arm O-ring. After the linkage is connected, you can replace the front barrel and tighten the barrel tightening screw. Now the 68 Special is completely reassembled and ready to fire. Simply screw in your constant air tank and the gun is ready to fire. I am now going to explain to you how to adjust the velocity on the 68 Special. To adjust the velocity, simply cock the gun and use the small Allen wrench which came with your gun. Place the Allen wrench in the power tube bushing velocity set screw. Twist the Allen wrench in to turn down your velocity and twist the Allen wrench out to raise your velocity. And that's how you adjust the velocity on the 68 Special. A couple technical tips on the 68 Special is, first of all, the front receiver area. The front receiver area must be kept clean and oiled with a light oil. A lithium grease is not recommended because it will get cold and cause drag. This front bolt must slide very easily. If you do have a problem of double firing, it may be caused from a dirty front receiver, or it could be caused from either your outside valve O-ring or your rear bolt O-ring being worn. Another thing that will cause double fire is the drive spring in the rear being fatigued from a lot of shots. Another reason that the gun will double fire is not using the siphon tank. The 68 Special was designed to use a siphon tank, and you may run into problems if you switch to a regular constant air tank. This concludes our maintenance videotape. If you have any questions, please feel free to call us at the toll-free number. And thank you.
I hope everybody enjoyed this VHS maintenance video on the Tippmann 68 Special, and we appreciate everybody watching this, and we'll catch you next time. Thank you.